everyone, welcome back. We're doing something a little different with this deep dive. We're looking at Celine Dion.
Oh, wow.
But not like the usual stuff you see in like magazines or whatever, you know.
Right.
We're going deeper. We're looking at her story through the eyes of her fans.
Interesting.
Specifically, we're diving into audience reviews of the 2024 documentary I Am Celine Dion.
Oh, cool. I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh, it's powerful. It's not like a typical polished celeb thing at all. These reviews,
Yeah.
they're raw, they're emotional. Some people even say it's like heartbreaking to watch, like torture even.
Wow.
But also inspiring, like people were really moved. So yeah, get ready for some intense stuff because we're going to unpack all of that, the power, the vulnerability of her story.
It's fascinating how these reviews go way beyond the typical, oh, I love Celine kind of comment. Fans are really grappling with something deeper here, something universal about illness and identity.
Totally. And the big challenge she's facing now is stiff person syndrome, or SPS. It's this rare neurological thing that causes like debilitating muscle spasms and rigidity.
I've heard of that, but I don't know much about it.
Yeah, so imagine that impact on someone whose whole instrument is their body,
Yeah.
their voice. One reviewer even said it's like being thirsty in a desert with no water.
Ooh, that's a powerful image.
Right. Really captures that sense of loss she's going through.
For sure. And for anyone who's not familiar with SPS, it's really complex. It's not just stiffness. It can cause intense pain, difficulty moving, even seizures.
Wow.
And it's so rare that getting diagnosed and treated can be really tough.
I bet.
The documentary doesn't shy away from any of that.
Yeah.
It shows her struggles, both physically and emotionally.
Yeah, and fans are reacting in all sorts of ways. Some are just devastated, heartbroken for her. They clearly feel this deep connection to her.
Like that whole parasocial relationship thing, fans develop these strong attachments to celebrities. It's not just about the talent, it's feeling connected to their lives.
Right.
So when someone like Celine shows that vulnerability, it hits hard. It's personal almost, like they're going through it with her.
Yeah, that wall between performer and audience just crumbles. And you see her as a human being, not just the superstar.
Exactly. And that's resonated with a lot of people.
Yeah.
They admire her courage for sharing her story.
Yeah.
And some even connected to their own experiences with illness or limitations. Like one reviewer who had a spinal condition talked about how they had to accept that their best days as an athlete were over.
Oh, wow.
That the passion that drove them was gone. They saw that same thing in Celine's story.
That's such a powerful connection. It shows how illness can really challenge who we think we are, especially when it hits something we're passionate about.
Absolutely. And it makes you wonder, how do we adapt when we're forced to redefine ourselves?
That's a question we all face at some point, I
Oh,
think.
for sure. Whether it's illness, aging, or just life throwing you a curveball. And to see Celine, someone so successful dealing with this, it makes you think about it in a whole new way.
One reviewer even suggested she could explore other creative things, like writing, design, painting, all the stuff she might have missed focusing on performing for so long.
That's an interesting thought.
Right, like maybe this is a chance for a new chapter.
Yeah, it shows that limitations, while they seem negative, can also be a chance to grow and transform. Sometimes you got to step outside that comfort zone, let go of what you thought defined you, and that opens up all these new possibilities.
I love that. But of course, there are other reactions, too. Some fans were frustrated with the documentary's pacing or the focus, and some were uncomfortable with how much her wealth was shown while she's going through all this pain.
Right. It shows how complex these parasocial relationships can be. Fans feel so connected that they have strong opinions about the celebrity's choices,
Yeah.
And when those choices seem like they might hurt the person, it triggers all these feelings. Worry, concern, even anger.
It's like they're invested in her well-being, not just her as a performer.
Exactly. They want the best for her. And seeing her struggle with this illness brings up tough questions about her future, her happiness.
Yeah, what really matters in life.
It's all tied to her identity as a performer, too.
Yes.
She's been defined by her voice and her shows for decades. So what happens when that's threatened? It's a deep personal struggle. And this documentary, by showing both the glamour and the pain, really makes us think about the human cost of fame.
Yeah.
And the challenge of finding meaning and purpose beyond what we do for a living.
One reviewer, Mamangan, pointed out that she doesn't need to do this anymore. She could relax, enjoy her life with her family, focus on health.
That's a compassionate take.
Right. Recognizing the toll this is taking and suggesting a path toward peace.
It's like sometimes the bravest thing is knowing when to step back and put your well-being first.
Totally. And that's something we can all learn from, whether we're facing illness limitations or just needing to redefine ourselves.
Yeah.
It's a human story that goes way beyond
I
celebrity.
agree more.
And that's what makes this deep dive so fascinating. It's not just gossip, it's about the stuff that connects us all.
For sure.
So yeah,
Yeah.
pretty heavy stuff, but
Yeah.
it's important. And we're just getting started, so stick with us.
Yeah, there's a lot more to unpack here.
Exactly. We'll be right back after a quick break.
And you know what's interesting? This documentary, it's kind of sparked a whole conversation about SPS itself.
Yeah.
Just from these fan reactions.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of them are saying they're learning about this rare condition for the first time because of Celine. You know,
It's like, by being so open, she's not just sharing her world, but also educating people about something they might not have known about before.
exactly. And it makes you think about the ethics of making a documentary like this.
Oh, how so?
Well, one reviewer actually wished the film went deeper into the science of SPS, like the research and stuff. It's like they wanted more info, not just Celine's experience, but the bigger picture of this illness.
So it's about finding that balance, right? Between telling a personal story authentically and using it as a platform for awareness and education.
Yeah, like where's the line? Respecting privacy, but also sharing something that might help others. Tough question.
For sure. And something else I noticed in the reviews? This idea of gracefully aging and accepting limitations. It seems to be hitting home with a lot of people.
It's universal, isn't it?
Yeah.
We all get older. We all face limitations at some point, whether it's illness, injury, just time passing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think seeing Celine, someone who's achieved so much now, having to deal with these very human challenges, it makes us realize that none of us are immune to that vulnerability.
Totally. Like one reviewer even mentioned how much they loved the homemade scenes in the documentary.
Oh, yeah.
The glimpses of her family life. It's like those moments of intimacy, seeing her with her loved ones. It allowed them to connect with her on a deeper level, beyond the stage persona.
It reminds you that behind all the fame and fortune, there's a real person there. A mother, a sister, a daughter, going through life just like the rest of us.
Absolutely. And it also highlights how important human connection is, especially when things are tough. Seeing Celine with her family, her support system, it shows how love and connection can give you strength, even in the face of huge challenges.
But the documentary doesn't shy away from the contrasts in her life either. There are those moments where the opulence of her surroundings clashes with the rawness of what she's going through.
Right, and that's gotten some strong reactions.
Definitely. Some people felt it was insensitive or even distasteful, while others defended her right to enjoy her wealth, regardless of her health.
It's a valid point, and it speaks to the whole issue of wealth and privilege, especially when it comes to illness. I can see why those images would be jarring for some people, especially when you're seeing Celine in so much pain.
Yeah, one reviewer even said they couldn't finish watching because of how much the film focused on her luxurious lifestyle. They felt it took away from the potential to raise awareness about SPS and Celine's experience with it.
That's an interesting take. It raises questions about how the filmmakers chose to tell her story. Did they find the right balance between her personal life and the broader message about her illness? It's something to think about for sure.
Another reviewer suggested that maybe the film would have been more effective if they split it into two parts. One focusing on her career and the other on her illness.
Two parts, huh?
Yeah, would separating those narratives have made it more impactful? Allowed for a deeper dive into both? What do you think?
It's hard to say. Maybe separating things would let people process each part more fully, without the distraction of the other.
Yeah.
But I think the filmmakers wanted to show that these things are intertwined. Her illness is impacting every part of her life, her career, her public image. It's all connected.
And that connection between her public and private selves, the way this is forcing her to rethink her priorities, who she is, that's where the real power of the story lies.
Right. It's not just a physical thing. It's an emotional and spiritual journey, too.
And that journey is something we can all relate to in some way. Whether we've faced hardship or had to confront our own mortality, it makes Celine's story so much bigger than just a celebrity going through something.
For sure. And with all the different opinions and emotions around this documentary, there's one question that keeps coming up. Should she keep performing at all, given her health?
Yeah, that's the big one, isn't it? No easy answers there.
And I'm sure she's wrestling with that herself as she figures out this new chapter of her life.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
On the one hand, she's this icon. She loves to sing. It's such a huge part of her. Her health has got to come first, right?
Exactly. And it raises these bigger questions about how we as a society think about artists and their work, especially when they get older or face health problems. Can we separate the art from the artist? Do we expect them to keep performing even if it hurts them?
It makes you think. One reviewer said, she's worked so hard for over 30 years. If she wants to step back, enjoy her life, her family, focus on herself, who are we to judge?
Right. It's like we have this idea that artists owe us something, that they should just keep creating no matter what.
Yeah, like we put so much emphasis on productivity and achievement, even when it comes to something as personal as art. Maybe we need to rethink that and recognize that sometimes the bravest thing is knowing when to stop and take care of yourself.
Absolutely. And that's a lesson that applies to everyone, not just celebrities. It's about knowing your limits, honoring your needs, and finding fulfillment in other ways.
So true. And through all these different reactions to the documentary, there's one thing that's clear. The love and support for Celine from her fans is huge.
Oh, yeah. Even those who had issues with the film, they still admire her strength, and they want her to get better.
It's really moving to see that, especially when she's going through something so difficult. It speaks to the connection she's built with her audience over the years. It goes way beyond just the music.
It's that human connection, you know? It reminds us that even when things are tough, we can find strength and healing in each other.
So to wrap up this deep dive, I think there are a few things we can take away from all this. First, Celine's story, as seen through the eyes of her fans, it reminds us that there's a real person behind the fame. The challenges she's facing, they're something we can all relate to in some way.
And second, it shows the power of being vulnerable.
Yeah.
By sharing her story, Celine's opened up this conversation not just about SPS, but about aging acceptance, the importance of well-being.
And finally, it's a reminder that even in a world that feels divided sometimes, human connection is still so powerful. The love and support for Celine, it's a testament to the bonds we can create through music, through shared experiences, through simply being there for each other.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's a powerful message of hope and resilience.
Well said.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in exploring these themes further, I highly recommend checking out the documentary, I Am Celine Dion. It's a really moving experience.
And we'd love to hear your thoughts too. You can connect with us on social media or leave a comment on our website.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time.